Hi, welcome to another episode Around the Neighborhood with me, Scott McMahon. And this is a show about the quest for fun, history, and mystery in our backyards. And today we are in West Linn. We're actually back in West Linn in the historic Willamette neighborhood. And we're going to visit the summer market here in a bit, which takes place behind the Willamette Ale and Cider House. But before we do, let's take a quick stroll around Willamette Park, which is just down the street from 12th Street. Normally we would have the West Linn Old Time Fair running, but with the COVID-19 closures, it's not happening this year. And it was originally named the Willamette Grange Fair. So what is a Grange? Well, in the US, it's an organization that sponsors social events and community service. Originally tied to the Farmers Association, Granges have had different structures, such as the Women's Group of Oswego Grange 175 over in the Stafford Hamlet area, in which I did a whole episode about that a few episodes ago. And I'll leave a link to that in the description below in case you're interested in checking that out. Anyway, the Willamette Grange Fair started in 1955, and they got renamed to the Community Fair, as everyone thought that it was only for Grange members. But after 1956, the fair gained popularity, and although the name Willamette Fair was batted around, it was decided that it was best to rename it the West Linn Fair to include the greater area of West Linn. So in 1957, the West Linn Fair was moved here to Willamette Park and eventually became known as the West Linn Old Fashioned Fair, then got renamed to the West Linn Old Time Fair. But yes, it normally takes place right here. There are in-depth articles all over the West Linn Historical Society's website, in which I'll leave a link below if you want to learn a lot more about it than I can put here in this video. Anyway, speaking of fairs, besides hot dogs, hamburgers, and popcorn, what else is synonymous with fairs? You guessed it, cotton candy. And did you know that cotton candy is nothing more than sugar and air? That's it. Apparently cotton candy dates way back to the 15th century in Italy, but it was called spun sugar. The process was to melt the sugar in a pan and use a fork to make strings of sugar over an upside down bowl. The sugar would then dry in strings and be served as a dessert. But since sugar was rare and the process was so time-consuming, it was only enjoyed by the really wealthy citizens. But over the centuries, this spun sugar treat would be used in different variations from chefs throughout Europe. But it wasn't until the late 19th century, around the year 1897, did we have a breakthrough for this spun sugar goodness to the masses. The patent for an electric sugar spinning machine was granted in 1897 to two men from Nashville, Tennessee, named William Morrison and John C. Wharton. Their new invention was premiered at the Paris Exposition in 1900 and again at the St. Louis World's Fair in 1904. The duo called the expertly spun sugar fairy floss and charged 25 cents per box. In fact, the boxes were made out of wood, and this is back in 1904 when the cost to get into the fair was 50 cents. These two men sold over 68,000 boxes of their fairy floss during the 8-month span of the fair. They made about what would be close to $400,000 during that time selling their fairy floss. The name would evolve from fairy floss to candy floss to eventually cotton candy. John C. Wharton was a confectioner, but his partner William Morrison, who was the inventor of the electric spinning machine, well, he was a dentist. A dentist who loved candy and he loved sweets. The way the machine works is that it would melt the sugar and any flavoring and coloring, then use the centrifugal. They would use the spinning force to push the melted mixture through a screen, and that would create these strands of sugar that then you can collect in a pan or a bowl or twirl it around a stick or some cardboard. Their invention really hasn't changed in over 100 years, but although now, I think it was back in the 1970s, but they've perfected it since then, we have fully automated cotton candy machines that make it, spin it, package it, and then hand it out to you. Robots. But today we're going to stop by and visit a local vendor who's making organic, all-natural cotton candy. What does that even mean? Well, let's go find out. Let's head up to the summer market, okay? Hi.
Hello.
How are you?
Good, how are you?
Good. So I made my way up from the Willamette Park. I did a little piece on a little bit of the history of cotton candy. And then I was curious though, because I was mentioning to people that you're here because you sell the all organic and all natural. If cotton candy is just basically sugar and air, right? And some of the pre-made stuff, I remember I've only worked a cotton candy machine once. And that was, we had the powder, like a milk carton.
Yep.
And so I'm guessing those are artificial flavors. So they put artificial flavors and colors on top of the sugar granules, or how does that work?
I'm not sure how they make theirs because I've never used it. I was looking for a business idea that had a low startup cost. And then one day my kid came home with a plastic tub of blue cotton candy from the dollar store.
Oh, okay.
And I thought, ew. As someone like who made their own baby food and cook from scratch as much as possible, and I'm like, I can do that better, hopefully, but what is cotton candy? So then I did a bunch of research and discovered it is basically sugar with flavoring.
Sugar with flavoring.
And coloring. Sometimes, and the mysterious glossine.
Oh.
And it's like, well, I can try sugar with flavoring.
Okay. You mentioned to me because of the situation of the fair, you can't put the spinning machine. Normally you would have a spinning machine.
Right,
but
I'd make it to order.
Yeah, so you have to make it ahead of time, bring it here.
I start with 100% organic cane sugar.
Okay.
So that's organic. And then I use organic flavorings to mix in, and just those two things.
Yeah. So do you have your own batch then, and then you put it into the machine, and that creates it? Okay. What's your what seems to be the most popular of this?
Generally like raspberry, strawberry, and vanilla.
Oh, okay.
And root beer.
You have mint too, huh?
I do have mint. Somebody requested it last week.
So you just made it up because somebody requested it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw online. It's crazy. Like, there's a vendor in China that makes those huge, like decorative cotton candy. I'm sure he's using.
The big flowers.
Yeah, the big flower.
Yeah.
I didn't realize cotton candy could get that decorative. You know, it was pretty crazy.
Vendors that make flowers, and then there's vendors that make shapes, like minions or rabbits, or
characters, right?
Pigs or,
it's almost like a party favorite, balloons and stuff like that. You mentioned to me that the original pink cotton candy was vanilla flavored. I couldn't find that online anywhere. How did you come across that information? Was there any history you can share?
Well, the original cotton candy, I don't know. I'm guessing it was just plain.
Plain sugar.
But traditionally, pink cotton candy is vanilla. I mean, those cartons you're talking about.
Yeah.
It says pink vanilla.
Pink vanilla. Okay.
Blue raspberry, purple grape.
Blue raspberry, purple grape.
Green lime.
Green lime.
You can see I've already sold out of the strawberry and the raspberry.
Look at that! You've already sold out of raspberry and strawberry. And I think the market's only been open for like an hour and a half. Good job. How's the chai latte?
That's one of my favorites.
Oh, really? How big are the mini puffs? Right here in front of me. Okay. So we got the mini puffs, we got small, and we got large. And in size comparison, this is how big my hand is. No, just kidding. Gonna do a small root beer.
Okay.
and I have a small chai latte.
Okay.
And then, yeah, so with that, and because it's all organic and natural flavors, there's really no coloring, right?
That's right. They'll come out basically white.
So that's the big difference, is because it's all natural and all organic, all the cotton candy is literally just white. You're not going to get any artificial coloring or flavoring on this. So there you go.
Scientifically, sometimes I talk about when the cotton candy makes. I used to say it's physics and chemistry.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was corrected by a chemist that because there's no actual molecular transformation, it just changes state from solid to liquid back to solid. It's only physics, not chemistry.
So that's it, just physics, because it's the act of melting something hitting state from solid to liquid, right?
Right, and then there's centrifugal force.
Centrifugal. Yeah, I couldn't even say that word, by the way.
Centrifugal?
Centrifugal.
Centrifugal force flings it out.
Flings it out.
Yeah, and when the liquid hits the air again,
it cools down so fast, right? So that's how we're able to get
solid.
that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy.
And these are actually usually my larges. If I spin it fresh, because it shrinks a lot. And fresh, this would be bigger than your head.
Interesting. Why is it that? Is it the actual flavoring that changes?
Shoving it in a bag.
Oh.
It makes it shrink.
Oh, interesting. So, normally, if you had the machine here and you're at the fair and we were in this situation, this would be a normal, like the fair size.
Yep. Bigger than your head.
But because over time it just gets, condensed. Well, great. I got my cotton candy. Share with the family.
Awesome.
Last time I didn't share the cookies. Never mind.
Oh, did they watch the video and they're like,
yeah.
Hey,
where's the? I did. I shared it. I shared it. Somebody, a friend of mine was giving me a hard time. Well, thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you.
And it's Maylon.
Maylon.
Thank you. All right. I'll keep you posted when this is up.
Okay, keep them out of direct sunlight. Don't squish them.
Got it. I'm gonna hold them this way then. So it's really interesting after talking to some people. That's a tough thing to do during this COVID-19 shutdown at a market when you're used to having a cotton candy machine going, the spectacle of the making of the cotton candy, and then the smells of, the flavors coming out. So if you get a chance to support Sweet Day Cotton Candy, please do. I said they're a little bit of a disadvantage of not having that ability to have that spectacle and the process in play here at the market or at the fair or, where they normally would be. Anyway, I'm sure you're going to enjoy this. Like she said, it normally is a lot bigger when it's first made, but you got to do what you can do. And, all natural, all organic cotton candy. And I'll leave the links below to Sweet Day so you can find out more information about them or come to the market and treat yourself. Oh, another thing too, there's always parking. There's tons of parking down here by Les Schwab. So the parking's not a problem and it's not really that far of a walk. So you can help the neighborhood out by just parking there and then just walking up to the market. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the show, and since the show is sponsored by my real estate services, all my contact information is listed below in case you had any questions about buying or selling a home, especially in this area. But in the meantime, for everyone else, just head on over to aroundtheneighborhood.tv and get more episodes, as well as become a fan if you want to. Again, that's at aroundtheneighborhood.tv. Thanks again for tuning in, and I'll see you around the neighborhood. Well, it'd be kind of a bummer if I didn't try some, for the end of the show. Again, I'm by myself, alone in the park. It's kind of apocalyptic. What used to be or should be a fair enjoying some cotton candy at the fair. I'm alone by the river, eating sweets before dinner time. This one is the root beer. Oh, it smells like root beer. Oh man, what a bummer. If you could get all these scents at the market, it would make a whole difference. Unfortunately, for Melange, she has to put everything in bags, pre-pack them, just because of the situation. It's rich. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I'm bringing this back to my family or not. Feels like summer. Root beer, cotton candy root beer, all in one. We had like 2 days of like heavy rain. Looks like we got a week's worth of sun coming, so see if I can make this last. That's good.